Hey gang, DVD collector back in the movie room. Hey gang, welcome back to Criterion Corner. Today we're going to be talking about Terrence Malick's 2005 The New World. Not your typical classic Criterion film, but nonetheless one that ultimately deserves to be in this library. Now, Terrence Malick also directed Days in Heaven, Thin Red Line, and my personal favorite, The Badlands. Malick's known for long, but absolutely beautiful, stunning films. The cinematography and just everything is beautiful. Just know that if you're going to watch a Terrence Malick film, you're going to get some of the best beautiful shots in any films around. Now, A New World, such an amazing film. So many ups and downs emotionally in this film. There are, these highlights that you're like, oh man, this is awesome. And then there's the low, like, oh. And it's an emotional roller coaster of a film. It is quite long. There are 3 different cuts on this version. There's the original theatrical cut, which is 135 minutes. Then there's what's called the first cut of the film, 150 minutes. And then there's the extended cut, which I watched, was 172 minutes. Now, ask me what the difference in them is. The runtime. I really don't know. I've seen the theatrical one because I seen it in the theater, and I've now seen this cut, and I mean, literally, this came out in 2005. I've watched it maybe once since then, and then again for this video, and I really don't notice too much stuff. The story's too big and too grand and too, like I said, too emotional to see what else was either cut or added. I have no idea. Other people may know this. I didn't look into it that much to tell you what it is. The story is, of course, of John Smith and his group coming to the New World. And it's the story of John Smith and Pocahontas. Okay. Now, this is different than a lot of Pocahontas stories that people have told over the years. This is what I would consider probably a little dramatic, but probably a lot more realistic than the other ones, especially the Disney one. Pocahontas was a very young girl. She's portrayed, I'm not really how old she's portrayed in here, but the story of Pocahontas is that she's 13, 14 years old when John Smith arrives and, falls head over heels for her and everything like that. And then the end of Pocahontas' story is where she died of whatever cause, of an ailment or anything. But the story, like I said, is so emotional. It goes from, John Smith meeting her, well, them landing, meeting these Native Americans for the first time, him going into their village and becoming, part of that culture. First she stops him from killing him, and he learns a lot of their ways, and then he's told, you must go back. So he goes back, and then, he has to leave. He leaves. And everything's that's happened in between there that I didn't talk about. John Smith realizes that this just it's not going to work. There's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be trouble. So he sails back to England, and he tells one of his soldiers or men or whoever the guy was to tell Pocahontas that he drowned after 2 years. Now this throws her into a gigantic fit of emotional, I don't even know, it just throws her into this weird fit of, she goes mad, basically. She ends up marrying another, John Rolfe, I believe is his name. William Rolfe. John, does it say on here? No, it's John Rolfe. Who's played by Christian Bale. And then we go from there to the fact that, you know, she finds out that he's still alive and she cannot give this up. You know, she can't give her love for him up. So it's got a lot of ups and downs, like I said. And then we come to the climax where we know, if you know the story of Pocahontas, you know what's going to happen. And it's got the full thing there. It's portrayed by a lot of wonderful actors. I'm not going to screw their names up, but pretty much any Native American film that was filmed, you know, 10 or 20 years before and after this, it has all of those wonderful actors in it. We have, of course, Colin Farrell. I'm going to try to get her name right. I'm going to try to not completely fuck this name up. Let's see. Kurantake Kilcher. That's Pocahontas. Beautiful, beautiful young actress. I believe she's 15, 16 at the time she filmed this, playing a very young Pocahontas, a very vulnerable Pocahontas, and just a wonderful film. So if you've not seen it, I highly recommend it. But like I said, more importantly than the story, which is often the case in a Terrence Malick film, is the look of the film. Can you forgive that the story suffers because of the look? And it's not that's not the case in this, but a lot of people do feel that way. But a lot of them are well worth watching just to get that experience. And the stories are strong. Days in Heaven is a beautiful story. Badlands, I'm kind of biased because it does have Sissy Spacek in it, but it's still a great story, great film. And of course, Thin Red Line. We can't forget that. It is an absolute masterpiece. Way up there in favorite war films for almost anybody. And of course, now we have the New World. There's others, Tree of Life, things like that. Some stuff I don't care for, but the four we've talked about today, just the title alone and this, are absolutely wonderful. So I am a fan of Terrence Malick, so take that for what it's worth. But if you haven't seen the New World, give it a try. It's not for everybody. It is a long, slow, and I use slow, it's slow burn film, but just beautiful. Just beautiful. So check out the New World, Spine number 826. Another one yet I bought on DVD, 4K transfer. Wonderful. It looks great. I mean, it's got your typical things on here. Oh, great art. Look at that. I forgot about that. And a wonderful, wonderful book about the film, and you know, just the art alone in this book is beautiful. So also, I think it's it's written by Terrence Malick too. So there you go. New World. Enjoy. Next we'll have just whatever I decide to watch. I'm not caught up on this. So until next time, guys. Game over.